I've had a bad week. This last week or two, I've been getting something that I know a lot of artists get. I've had artist block. I feel like I've drawn loads of pictures and all of them look awful. So I thought it'd be interesting today to kind of vent a bit about my week, but also explain to you how I think I've got over my artist block. Although whether I truly have remains to be seen. So at the start of the week, I decided it would be fun to make a video where I really go into detail about how to draw fur. It was my plan to draw something quick and easy, and I wanted to draw a bee. I don't know why I decided to pick a bee because, as my husband always says, Gemma doesn't finish bees. I must have started drawing about 15 different bees in my time, and I've literally never finished one. And not surprisingly, it wasn't different in this case. When I got about this far through, it wasn't looking how I wanted it to. It was taking an extremely long time to not look very good, and I decided that I was just best off giving up on the bee and I should just try and draw something else, which I think was probably the start to my bad week. Maybe if I hadn't have tried to draw a bee again, then it wouldn't have turned out as it did. That sounded very dramatic. My next plan was to move on from the bee, try and draw something completely different. I still wanted to focus on drawing texture. I thought it would be good to draw a very sweet little hedgehog. Also, because I'd wasted a lot of time, I thought if I draw with graphite, in theory, it would be a little bit faster than building up all of the layers of colour pencil. And then I'll be able to have kind of a quick win. Exactly the same thing happened. I made it about 2/3 of the way through. And again, I didn't think that it was going to look up to the kind of standard I expect. I just couldn't foresee any way that this was going to end up looking good. Now, I am particularly fussy with myself. I put a lot of my drawings on Patreon where I'm teaching other people how to draw, and I don't want to put something on there that I don't believe in. So I decided again I was going to cut my losses and I should draw something completely new. I say completely new, I did still want to draw a hedgehog, and I figured maybe if I draw it with pastel instead, then that will be better. No, I wasn't happy with that either. So after having 3 drawings in a row that just haven't worked out, you start beginning to feel like maybe you can't draw after all. Like all drawings up until now have just been a massive fluke. So at this point, I need to try and work out how to get myself out of my artist's funk. Now, the first thing I did was stop. Constantly rushing to draw the next thing and thinking it's going to magically be better when I'm feeling really negative. It just means that I keep failing and it gets worse and worse and worse and builds up. So the first thing I did was walk away for about 3 days. Didn't try and draw anything, didn't pick up a pencil. Now, I probably could have happily stayed away for longer, but I think if you leave it too long, then you end up just never wanting to do it again. You just end up making yourself have a complex. So after a couple of days calmed down and coming back in a better headspace, I wanted to make sure that what I drew actually worked this time. I don't think it would help for me to draw something that once again I wasn't happy with. I really needed a win. So the first thing I did was make the conscious decision to draw with my favourite medium. Those of you who know me know that that would be colour pencils. It is thankfully rare for me to draw something with colour pencils that I don't like if you ignore all of the bees. So that seemed like the safest bet. I also wanted to draw something that was a reasonable size. I think when you really need a win, the desire is there to draw something smaller so that you're done faster, so you can get the win faster. But generally I find that if I draw smaller, although most of the time it works out, sometimes I just make something that's awful. If I draw bigger, I tend to like it more frequently. I think it's just easier. Because it's bigger, you have a bit more margin for error. So I knew I wanted to draw a full picture of something that was a decent size. The last thing I wanted to do was try and find a reference photo that had really good contrast and interesting colours. So I settled on this little monkey. I do also think it helped that I think he's adorable. It really motivates me. I'm not going to claim that this monkey is a masterpiece. I think it's fine. It looks like a monkey. I think that I have drawn things that are better, but I feel like I'm kind of getting back on my normal path. It's starting to look like my art. So do any of you suffer from artist block? And more importantly, when you have, how do you get yourself out of it? Let me know in the comments. All right, hopefully I will be back to my normal self next week. Happy drawing, guys. I'll see you in the next one.